Crowded House is the debut album by Crowded House, produced by Mitchell Froome. It was released in August 1986 and certified platinum in 4 countries. The album includes the hit singles Don't Dream It's Over, Something So Strong, Mean to Me, World Where You Live, and Now We're Getting Somewhere. At the 1986 Countdown Australian Music Awards, the album won Best Debut Album, as listed number 7 in the Rolling Stones 200 Greatest Albums of All Time. My goodness. You massive Crowded House fan? You son of a bitch. I'm not allowed to use your name anymore. You told me off.
You son of a bitch. Hey, you can say my name. I just felt you were oversaying my name, and I felt like you wanted to date me, and it made me uncomfortable. Not in a, hate speech kind of way. Just in a...
Well, it wasn't sort of a hate speech kind of a way. That's how I meant it.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I should have seen that coming.
Your culture, your religion, everything you stand for. I find it offensive.
Yeah.
But we put our differences aside to do this podcast.
We do. It's a battle every week.
Even though you are what you are, we carry on.
Yeah, we are the light that the world needs to have shone upon it to reach utopia, essentially. We are the Bill and Ted of podcasting.
Even though Brad... Yeah.
Without us, there is no peace for mankind.
There's basically no internet.
Well, exactly. Yeah, Crowded House. Never have called myself a giant, like a fan. I can't say I've bought a single Crowded House album, but...
Who buys albums anymore? That means nothing to anyone anymore.
I know who they are. I know what they do. I'm aware of the genius of Nil Fun, amazingly talented songwriter. It's hard to say anything bad. It's just he's so wholesome. Everything's very straightforward. I think he's
he's too short.
He's the godfather of New Zealand.
Got a funny haircut.
Pop. He's the NZ pop king. He's got a beautiful hair for a 60-year-old man, don't you think?
It's probably implants, isn't it? At this stage of his life, you don't have hair like that at that age. Plastic surgery, I imagine.
I don't know. He's a Kiwi, so you think, he's got to be pretty drugs and alcohol free. Occasionally has a sausage roll and puts too much sauce on it.
His tight buns, that's not natural. He's got implants, I bet you.
You mean
a man that age with such luscious cheeks just doesn't happen.
Well, when you're the darling of the worldwide songwriting community, it gives you solid rosy cheeks, I'd imagine.
I was referencing his bottom.
His
glute pretty good for a guy of his age. Oh, goodness me.
So I pay attention to Neil's fins. But I'm sure they're solid. Look, to be fair, when you recommended this album, I was like, I wonder what's going to be on that one. It's their debut album. It's probably going to be a mixed bag, one good song on it. And, when I think Crowded House, I instantly think of the band that he was in before this, which I think is... the better band for me is Split Enz, right? For those that don't know, Split Enz was Nil Fun's older brother's band that he joined and made a better band, to be fair. There, I said it. They split up, and this is Nil Fun's project, right? Which later, I don't know whether it was the next album or the album after, his older brother joined Crowded House. And again, made the band better. So I think when the two of them are together, there's quality. But yeah, I put this on. And fuck me, does it have a lot of hits on it?
Yeah.
It's almost it's like a greatest hits album, and it's their first album. Like,
Yeah.
who does that? Honestly,
Nil fucking Fun.
Fucking Vin does it.
Motherfucking gangster.
Straight out the gate, you put it on. Mean to me.
Yeah. Boom.
It kicks in. I'd never heard, or I thought I'd never heard it before. I was like, oh, okay, it's kind of catchy. And then the chorus, and I was like, fuck, I know this song. Like it's in our Kiwi DNA, these songs. It's the best way of putting it.
Full disclosure, we're New Zealanders.
Fucking A. Sheep shagging Kiwis.
Fuck you, mate. Yeah, mate.
Fucking good cunts.
And Nil Fun, born in Te Awamutu, New Zealand. Raised there with his brother Tim Fun. Tim Fun started Split Ends. Nil Fun later joined Split Ends. Whole bunch of things happened. Yeah, so this is a Kiwi institution, Crowded House. So, yeah. And our DNA is correct. But this was a band that went cool for a long time. Like, when they were put this album out, it wasn't cool to like Crowded House.
Oh, I guess. It came out, 86? So this is before my music listening times. When I was 6 years old, I was dancing around the living room to fucking Dire Straits with me mum,
Okay. Yeah, carry on.
Dancing with your mum? Is that gay?
Yeah, when you're 6.
Well, I think it's kind of normal.
Let's just call it non-binary. Move on.
Yeah, sure. All right, doing some non-binary dancing with me mum. Right. So this wasn't on the radar. I'm trying to think when the whole Crowded House Split Ends thing did come on my radar, and I honestly couldn't pick it. It's just always been there. He's like, Nil Fun is New Zealand's Jesus. He's just always been there, putting the good word to all of us.
I was reading when this album came out, it wouldn't get played in New Zealand. The New Zealand disc jockeys refused to put it on the radio. They weren't very cool about it. It wasn't till this became a number one, it wasn't a number one, but he had a number 2 hit with Don't Dream It's Over in the United States. The album got into the top 20 or something, top 7, something like that. And then New Zealand kind of cottoned on. But I was a huge fan of this album when I was in high school, and it just wasn't cool. And I'd read articles when Nil Fun was doing, he did a lot of kind of shows around New Zealand. People weren't even going to them. He was playing like little town halls to 50 people and stuff in New Zealand. He would go overseas and he's playing a massive venue. Well, not a huge venue, but much larger venues. Underappreciated in New Zealand, but now he's a legend. And now it's kind of cool to like him. We're a bunch of pricks in New Zealand, basically. That's what I want to say.
Yeah. Tall poppy syndrome. If you're doing well, fuck you. Do worse, you can't. Yeah, I want to say Crowded House's success and Nil Fun had a lot to do with, like Kiwis living in the UK, expats, big country. He's over there doing some tour. Oh, yeah, he's the guy from Split Ends. And it created a Kiwi culture over there maybe as well. And then it came home after that.
They always did better in Australia. They were based in Australia. They did, they were playing quite big places in Australia and then come to New Zealand. No one gave a shit.
Yeah, what was the breakdown? So Neil's a Kiwi and then they had an Aussie drummer.
Aussie drummer, Aussie bass player.
Oh, right. So it's an Aussie band,
He was Seymour. What was his name? But his brother was the singer of Hunters and Collectors, a big Australian band.
Oh, yeah. Good trivia.
And Paul Hester on drums. He killed himself. He hung himself in a tree in a park. Yeah, just down the road from his house.
Weirdo.
Yeah, had the depressions, apparently.
He should have not dreamed it was over. Thought of something so strong. But people were mean to him in the world where he lived.
Now he's got a tombstone.
Oh, fuck. So this is technically
He couldn't carry on.
Something was so strong.
They'd be mean to me. Yeah.
But I'll
I
love
will
you till
love
the day
you
I die.
till the day I die.
Yeah. In a tree in a park. So it's a concept album about the drummer's death.
No,
Sorry,
just
Neil.
himself.
We don't mean it. We're just trying to be funny. Yeah.
He doesn't listen to us anymore on account of the content.
Nil Fun or the dead drummer?
Both. At this point. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, look, for me on my radar, Split Ends is always in there, mainly just like greatest hits albums, and that's my awareness of Nil Fun. But then it wasn't until must have been 98, 99 when Nil Fun put on some big collaborative show in Auckland, and it had drummer and guitarist from Radiohead and Eddie Vedder and some other no names. Johnny
Radiohead, dude. Yeah.
They all came over and played a show, and I went to that. And I, being a Pearl Jam fan, I was really just there for Eddie. And he killed it. It was awesome. But it was also a nice introduction to, well, maybe not an introduction, but like a re-osmosis, a reminder of what Nil Fun did. And so that kind of put him back on my radar, That'd be the only album of his that I own.
I sort of started getting sick of him after a while because he started doing a lot of what I would consider stunt things. It's like putting together a band with Eddie Vedder and all those guys. His greatest hits with only a couple of new songs on there. It was like, was it 3 new songs on a greatest hits album? It's kind of like, well, I kind of want the new songs, but I don't want the greatest hits because I got the records already.
Yeah, that's it.
And you start getting a bit annoyed.
Good at doing there's a couple of Finn Brothers albums that are really good as well. Like he's like New Zealand's Paul McCartney. The dude can write a song, right?
He's one of the world's most respected songwriters. There's a lot of people who say Don't Dream It's Over is the song they wish they wrote, like some really big artists. It's been covered by a lot of people and had hits for them too.
Yeah. That's probably one song I don't enjoy. Ever.
Heard it too many times?
Yeah, it's just so soppy and it's, nah. Oh, nah. It makes me want to hang myself from a tree in a park, really. So,
you know what I liked about these guys? I just thought of it. Is when I was a little kid, I'll tell you anyway, seeing as you're not interested. But when I was a little kid, one of the first albums I listened to was the Beatles, Hard Day's Night, and I just loved that because those guys just screamed. Like, I thought the Beatles was heavy metal before heavy metal, You know how the Beatles used to scream when they were young? Shut up, baby.
They fucking rev
awesome.
It up. Yeah.
And then when I got Crowded House, I thought it was the Beatles all over again because, he's got a great voice. He's got a bit of a scream. There's quite a dark nature to some of the lyrics. And, now her parents are divorced and her friends all committed suicide and sitting in a mental institution with a black and white TV to stop them from getting lonely. Like, it's all fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Great lyrics, great imagery.
Wordsmith. Yeah. Yeah. Just, and it seems to come very easy for him as well. Like, as we said, listening to this album, it feels like a greatest hits album and it's a debut. Like, how many debut albums can you go? Shit, this is, most of these songs will be on their greatest hits album. Like the Pearl Jam, their debut album 10, it's got a bunch of bangers on it. Any others? It's hard to think of off the top of your head bands that are that good straight out the gate.
Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
No, there's a lot of bands. First Metallica is awesome. Kill 'Em All.
Yeah, but it's how many tracks off Kill 'Em All are on the greatest hits of Metallica?
They haven't
I
got a
feel
greatest
like,
hits.
don't they?
Nah,
It's a shame.
never
They're
done a
losing
greatest
money.
hits.
I bet they will now off the back of Stranger Things. Like re-release. It's their greatest hits, and it's got Master of Puppets as seen in Stranger Things. Give me the money.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know what it's worth releasing albums now. It's all
They
on
just make a
Spotify.
playlist.
Yeah. I think you notice what Metallica are doing now is like every day or two they're putting out a live song. They're filming and recording them every day, pretty much. You get a new song. That's all just the whole era. It's great. Fantastic.
I don't pay
Love
attention to them. So I'm hoping you're enjoying it as a fan. But as a not fan, I have no idea what you're talking about.
it. They did Escape the other day. Volume the bell tolls. Oh. Yeah.
You're speaking Latin to me.
Mm.
When you back in the day put this thing on and it would have been vinyl in 1986.
It was a
I'm
Walkman.
assuming it
discovered
was
them in high school.
Stereo Walkman.
The Walkman. I was listening to cassette tapes. Yeah.
That's the best times, the golden times. But when you listen to this, you chuck on track one. Does it? Oh, that's my dog making noise. When you put on track one, do you feel it sets you up for the album? Do you get it from track one?
Yeah, it's a great representation. Mean to me. Sketchy. I feel a lot of the songs are quite aggressive and dark, which I really like, especially when considering they're mostly like acoustic guitars with some backing electrics and stuff.
Yeah.
But
you know who they
this dark nature.
That reminds me of another band. I think we've done them before. Remember the Shins? Real sort of happy poppy music, but the lyrics were dark. And I think that's a bit similar to Crowded House. It's a strummy, real catchy, it's real hooky music. Like it's Beatles pop essentially. But yeah, as you say, darker lyrical themes.
This is faster songs, so like more up tempo rockers, but acoustic, Whereas the Shins are a bit melancholy.
Oh yeah, look, if I had to pick a band, if you chose one, the other would never exist. I'm going to pick Crowded House to exist, and the Shins can just disappear. Really,
you love that album, Brad.
I do like the Shins, but in the scope of who's doing better things for society, go with Crowded House. I mean, they're
done for society.
They're bringing thousands together at the Sydney Opera House, bringing joy to the world, and the Shins are playing to like 100 people in some dive bar, right? Grand scale joy.
What about Nil Fun? He did that song for New Zealand rugby. It was fucking terrible. He did a song for that Red Nose Day song for Cot Death. That was fucking bullshit.
He did it with that cunt from the Exponents, didn't he?
Jordan Luck.
Yeah. Get your gumboots or fuck, I can't remember what it was.
Oh, fuck off. Yeah, it was all those New Zealand stereotypes. You're like, no one fucking knows anyone like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Fred Dagg references. You're like, no one does that shit.
Yeah, that's it. That was it. I like Fred Dagg. Do one of his albums.
We have to explain who Fred Dagg is. New Zealand comedian who made fun of farmers back in the 50s. New Zealand farmers stereotypes in the 50s. Very funny, but not entirely accurate.
Nah, his one about why'd the boat sink? Oh, there was a hole in the front. That's genius. Anyway,
sit right here, mate. I'll get you a mug of beer.
Yeah.
Shit, this meeting will end in 10 minutes. Fuck these Zoom pricks.
Hey, we could be more professional and not let anybody know that we use Zoom to make our episodes, but you fucked that up.
Recorded in the pointless and confused $16 million recording facility at the top of a cliff on above our secret lair.
Yeah, the secret volcano lair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we have a henchman that throws a glove.
Yeah. Some of our winches, they're demanding to be serviced. So,
yeah.
10 minutes left, Brad. What are we going to do?
Should we get into the skippability then, shall we?
Yep.
Where you go?
For me, I've got Mean to Me. Epic. World Will You Live. Epic. Now we're getting somewhere. Epic. Don't Dream It's Over. Epic. Love You Till the Day I Die. Epic. Something So Strong. Epic. Hole in the River. Epic. Can't Carry On. Decent. I Walk Away. I gave it an epic. Tombstone, decent. I love this album. It's great.
Wow. You really did not expect that.
I think Can't Carry On is a song that's sometimes on the album and sometimes not, depending on the track listing. Yeah. Yeah, love the album. There's nothing I would throw out at all. It's either fucking awesome or it's all right. It's pretty good.
Yeah, right. Look, for me, fairly similar, like I said, greatest hits, but I wouldn't, epic. I'd probably use the word neat or like choice, bro, but not like epic. It's not something that I'd fucking in a room full of mates go, oh, bro, you've got to check out Something So Strong. This is going to knock your socks off. Let me turn the stereo up to 42 and have the sub on so you can crank it. This is like, yep, here's a bit of New Zealand history. This is us Kiwis. This is a good Kiwi song.
No, it's not. I mean, it's not heavy metal. It's not, but it's just solid, great, incredibly well crafted songs with great lyrics.
It's epic for Crowded House.
It's just a crowd. It's a pop album. Pop rock album. So, it's great.
Because we're running out of time here on our schedule. For me, pretty similar to you, like Mean to Me, World We Live. Now we're getting somewhere. I'll give you Don't Dream It's Over. It's 4 straight solid openers. Love You Till the Day I Die. I'm going to skip to the next one. Something So Strong. Again, classic. After that, I could switch the album off.
It does start waning. There's a couple of there.
Just got bored. Now, I had never put this album on and listened to it from start to finish ever in my life. So my Crowded House is from greatest hits or the radio, man. These songs are just radio staples down here in the Southern Hemisphere. So I knew, the ones that I knew were great, and I tried to get as many listens as I could in for the songs that I didn't know, but they just didn't stick in my brain like those ones did. So I'd happily just take all what would have been the singles off this album or all the songs that end up on the greatest hits and go, yep, awesome. And then almost ditch the second half, really. After Something So Strong, I'm out. So out of how many tracks we got here? 11 songs.
11.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, fuck, I'm only keeping 5, really. So not even halfway. Okay, but it's, 5, like we've had before, 5 almost perfect songs and then some mediocre stuff.
They're all right. It does fall off the edge last. Can't Carry On onwards. Can't Carry On or Walk Away. Tombstone's pretty good. That's what I call love.
I was surprised by this album that really took me by surprise was the production. It's fucking great. For 1986, there's some beautiful sounding acoustic guitars. And, the balances and the vocals are all crisp and the harmonies are great. Like, whoever was the producer nailed it.
Yeah. Mitchell Froome, he was the Split Ends
timeless too.
Player.
Like, you could record the tones and the style of everything could be put out today and you'd be like, it's clean, it's crisp, it's great.
Also want to mention Tim Pierce has a YouTube channel where he talks about guitar. And he's a session musician based in LA, and he played all the electric background guitars, all the weird ambient sounding electric guitars.
Right.
Fantastic.
Interesting.
Like really awesome guitar work from him. He's a really cool guitar player. He's a great YouTube channel. We just like to throw a reference around and help the little fellas out every now and then, don't we, Brad?
Yeah. From our lair.
He's trying.
Look. We all try. Some of us succeed. Like Nil Fun.
Yeah.
God amongst men. How are you going to rate it?
I'm going to give it a 9. It does trail off a little bit. I'm going to give it 9 oversized suits out of 10. Really? Sparkles.
Like, what's that band? Talking Heads. They have the oversized suits, don't they?
Yeah. Well, the Crowded House had the weird suits that were always, bright colours. Well, it was kind of a split ends.
Split ends.
Too. No, both of them did. They both wore strange suits with lots of, embellishments on them.
Time.
It was just a bit non-binary.
They didn't even know what that was back in '86.
Yeah.
For me, rating it, look, I can't go off, the hit songs versus skippy songs. I think it's a great album, but not a 9. I think it's worthy of an 8 though. I'll give this it's pretty high for me because
it's a good rating.
I think, but from little old Te Awamutu, these guys have made it on the world stage, and I'm proud of them. Makes me proud to be a Kiwi when you see, people all around the world singing songs written here. So it's just pride. 8. What am I going to give it? 8 pride marches out of 10.
She came all the way from America. She had a blind date with destiny, and the sound of the album.
I don't get paid enough to listen to you sing.
Ring. Now her parents are divorced, and her friends have committed suicide.
We have to put up with. We have to apologise for Dan's cocaine abuse.
Why apologise?
Keeps him awake. Gets him through each episode.
Gets me through life. Let's face it, there's a lot of suffering.
On the ball, right where you want to be.
Yeah, haven't been arrested in ages. I'm doing well.
Great. Well, I'm happy for you, and I'm happy that your house is crowded and sharks have fins.
What? Shark attack.
Great song. Shark attack. Oh,
that's how it goes.
Jeez. Yep.
Cultural appropriation.
Apart from the appropriation, less than 1 minute. End it.
Oh God. Oh no. It's going to beat me. I can't hit the timer. My mouse is too slow.